time I'm listening.
WATB with Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time. Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Happy New Year. That's right. Welcome to the first Who Are These Broadcasters of 2024. I am Christian Bladt, and 2024 is clearly coming in like a lion. There's our pal EZ, Eric, Zane. You know, this was going to be the first content on the Who Are These Podcasts Network, a.k.a. the Frosty Tips channel, but they snuck in an early creep off this morning. So we're already yesterday's tomatoes, you know?
Whatever. You know, creep off. Like anybody cares about that shit.
Well, as always, I've got a great collection of clips. And a little later in the show, we'll be joined by the Andy, formerly known as Trucker Andy, from the All Apologies podcast, Andy Q Public. He's going to bring us some of the top apologies from 2023, depending on which ones we'll be able to play without getting struck. It's something we're figuring out it's an ongoing situation. But that's
Is he not known as Trucker Andy anymore?
He's not a trucker anymore.
Not Trucker
You can
anymore.
ask him. Yeah, you can ask
the
him
old
about it.
change of life thing, and that happens to these 40-somethings.
So he's Andy Q Public. His co-host is Joe Sixpack. So he is officially Andy Q Public. And from what I hear, emphasis on the Q. But in any case, Eric, you'll be handling the super chats. Let everybody know how those work.
It's real simple. You see, we like to make our pal Christian here uncomfortable. He's a wholesome, God-fearing man who doesn't like to offend anybody. So whoever has the highest dollar amount and says the most ridiculous thing, that will be Christian's sign-off. So please take liberty with that and make him very, very uncomfortable. He does the show from his home, as I do, and his kids are running around. So make him say something horrible in the
Just
highest dollar amount.
Yeah, the highest U.S. dollar amount. Just like last week, my kids are right downstairs. If you make me yell something, they are going to hear it. I'm going to have a difficult conversation with them. By the way, Mr. Green is asking if Andy is now something that rhymes with trucker. Entirely possible. JFK head chunk, unemployed Andy. And look, Kelly Riddle made the point last week that they were trying to send some messages in, but Super Chat wasn't letting them. Go ahead and Super Chat a sticker. And then you can just you can message us and let us know. We'll read it anyway. Okay, we'll have a workaround.
Work around it exactly. That's exactly what you do, and then we'll just go from there. You'll get it.
Yeah. Well, I've got some news early for everyone. Prairie Judge says last show at Hack Ride. I'm all for bothering Eric Zane, but why do you hate people with ears? Hack Ride is in the chat. I've seen him, but he does not have an appearance scheduled today. But
I thought it was fun. I enjoyed.
I had a lot of fun with him. Yeah.
A reasonable amount of fun. He's, I hated him. I hated him a lot more in the past. I don't hate him nearly as much. And dare I say, I find some of the things not bad. I can actually tolerate Hack Ride now. I'll probably grow to love him before you know it.
That's how he works his magic, his devil magic on everyone. I'm going to try a John Melendez tactic. If you guys don't super chat enough, I'm going to send Hackride the link. All right. So just keep that in mind. But all of that being said, let's start where we so often start on this show with good old local news.
Others imitate it. We appreciate it.
WATB.
Now, Eric, in the past on this show, we've talked about how in local news there's an axiom, a credo of saying, whatever you want to call it, that if it bleeds, it leads. And I think we follow that here really well. And our first few clips are going to really embrace that. The first one, a little bit north of here, up in Ventura, California, there was an exceptionally high surf advisory. And Eric, I know you don't live that close to the beach. I don't either. But if there was a high surf advisory, what do you think that means you should not do?
You shouldn't be near there.
Yeah.
Okay. You should be away unless you got a board. If you're on the board, if you're on the water, you're safe. If you're just standing there walking, you're fucked.
Yeah. Don't be a looky-loo. And that is apparently we'll see what happens when you don't heed the local authorities' warnings. So here it comes. Oh, man, this looks great. Well, I guess I might need to jog in place a little bit. Holy shit. Oh, my God. They're going to get the fire truck.
Oh,
No
holy
one expected
Thailand.
This. A massive rogue wave slams onto the Ventura coastline,
It's just
Pierpont
going down
Beach,
the
to be
street.
exact, around 11 a.m. Thursday morning. The
Like a Godzilla
explosive
movie.
rushing
And then here's a
water
different
quickly
angle.
washes away
Oh,
cars
that's awesome.
and people.
Look
Say
at
goodbye to that truck.
And smashes through windows of beachfront
love
buildings
this.
and hotels.
Oh,
There it is, just going down the street.
The racing floodwater also chased countless others.
I mean, I understand
fast
running
and
away
as far
from it,
away
but
from the
it's
beach
ankle
as they
deep.
could run.
What the fuck?
Witnesses say some of the victims suffered
Yeah.
broken bones.
Climb up on that picnic
Firefighters
table,
and
maybe?
paramedics rushed 9 people to the hospital, 2 of them in critical condition,
Oh, no.
according to the Ventura City Fire Department.
And there's this guy in green who just kind of just
Yeah, that,
scoots down at the end. That's my favorite part
Condition,
for our
according
visual
to the
audience.
Ventura
You can see
City
him right
Fire
there.
Department.
There he goes.
That is
y-
quite intense. That is, I'm so glad that happened. I'm glad that they had
Oh.
the camera there because that's just basically the TV station. I don't know. It almost looks like they were set up with their gear because this seems to be a stationary shot.
Yeah, so they have the stationary shot, but some of the best footage comes from, I think he's a Facebook user. So you know what that means. He's a boomer. The Facebook user whose name is Colin Rugg. And here's the reason why I'm giving Colin Rugg a shout out, because Colin Rugg's Facebook had an entire compilation of more of these wave videos. Most of them are at the beach, but we enjoyed that one so much. Let's go back for a little bit more. So we're all very visual. These kids getting washed away.
Oh.
There goes the truck. Okay, we got some surfers here. All right. Well, he's probably going to hang on to his board there. Okay, no, he didn't hang on to his board. All right. Well, this guy's definitely got good.
Oh,
that board was in the lip.
Next one's my favorite.
Well, boys, I fucking sent her a little too fucking hard, but
oh. Jesus. I love the surfers. My favorite is the surfers. These guys have nerves of steel.
yeah, big job.
Because every surfer there sucks shit. They're all horrible surfers.
Yeah.
You know.
But they're
You know,
going to be
they're
the one that
Yeah.
rides the epic wave.
All of a sudden, they've got bonsai pipeline size waves. They're used to 6-foot swells. They're suddenly on 30-foot behemoths. You assholes.
Yeah. And our buddy Colin Rugg just safely watching from some high vantage point and providing some great commentary there. So, yeah, I didn't. It was a little bit after the first clip I showed, but the Ventura County Sheriff came on and said, "Well, what this shows is why when we tell you to stay away from the beach, you should stay away from the beach."
Yeah.
So, lesson learned, I guess, for some people. Our next video was a submission from a gentleman named Rob Schultz. And Rob Schultz sent this in because he knows there's only one show out there that covers the epidemic of mysterious house explosions that, never really get explained. This one's from Michigan. And Eric, you shared this with me after Rob shared it with you. Does it need any setup before we take a look at it? Yeah,
No,
I don't think
apparently there was a comment, some type of ridiculous statement made by the person who's presenting it, but that's about it.
We'll check in. The reporter has a point that if I'm going to use my smart guy hat, is less than salient. But let's give a listen, and I'll pause when I think I hear what maybe Rob was thinking.
The fire itself, the explosion is out, but they're still trying to figure out any hot spots that may have happened. And the debris was shot up, we are told, not only across the freeway, but up into the sky.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. So the debris went up into the sky. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a house explode, Eric. I've only ever seen videos for it, but I would imagine that stuff goes up into the sky, right?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty standard fare for any entire home that's exploded into a billion pieces. There may be some of the pieces that go up. That's because of the explosion. So
I think it doesn't matter the size of the home. I think even if you're, you're double wide or single trailer blows up, some of it's going up in the sky.
Yeah, typically you've got the force of gravity pushing down towards the planet, but the explosion can send things up in a particular fashion, depending on the intensity of the explosion.
Well, I'm glad you put your science coat on to explain to us how it works, because I was like, oh, it goes up in the air? I didn't know. Let's hear some more.
At least 20 feet up, stuck in the trees. As you look at this video, it is absolutely shocking. There's
beautiful, isn't it, Eric?
I love it. I'm so happy.
Basement, everything reduced to rubble. Of course, now police trying to figure out exactly what caused this. Again, a very active scene, very active situation.
They never do.
And it's important to note that we are
I
about
don't even think they try.
and a half away.
Well, how could you possibly find out?
Because they are, like I said, actively investigating this. And
there are people
and it is a dangerous situation.
Who went through Hiroshima that look at that and go, oh my God, I've never seen so much devastation. So how the fuck do you plan on figuring out what the fuck happened?
Well, fortunately, this broadcast did try to get to the bottom of it. And for more on this story, we head back to the Fox 2 studio and correspondent LaToya Jackson.
Yeah, when you look at the scope of the destruction there, I don't know if you know what the radius is, but if they're still investigating, you have to wonder if anyone was potentially in the blast radius, if they're still looking for other people who might have been nearby or any collateral damage from nearby edifices. Before
the field reporter answers, I just have to point out that I think anybody who could see it is dead. I mean, I think it's that simple, right?
By the way, that's the first in news broadcasting that edifices has been used in a report, I think.
Yeah. And honestly, it doesn't matter what she has to say, but did the field reporter really need to go on television in those mittens? I mean, they don't have anything with the logo on there. I mean, or just black gloves.
Aren't those the Bernie Sanders ones?
Those are
remember those stupid Bernie Sanders ones?
I do. And she's got those, look, you want to put the hat on, it's all right, but it's okay when you can do your reporting from the news truck or back in the studio. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. She just doesn't look at all comfortable. But if I'm picking between woolly hat and LaToya, I think you know where I'm going.
Okay,
but that's just me. Anyway, I look, I love that, and surveillance video of people who maybe don't know they're being filmed is another favorite of mine when we do this show. And Eric, you might be surprised to hear that I've occasionally gone to a fast food window, a drive-through window.
You don't look it.
No, I know. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a nice way to start off 2024. But look, every single week, I do need a cheat day or 3. And this is kind of what I would see is the worst case scenario. And this video apparently is from 2021, but it was only just made public as part of a trial. And you'll understand that the Jack in the Box Corporation was only too happy to hand over this footage, because I think that they just don't want to be involved with the person in question. This is a Jack in the Box drive-through near the Houston airport. There he is.
Oh no!
Oh no! I didn't put it up, did I?
Oh no!
That's okay. We'll put it back up in a second. That's all right.
That's when the argument started. You can see Ramos in his red.
We'll start it over. So this is it.
Watch as Ramos pulls up to that drive-through window. He's then greeted by Alania Ford, and once his food was handed over, an order of curly fries were missing from the bag. When he asked for them, he was told no. That's when the argument started.
Which, by the way, if I was ever told that, I'm like, all right, I'm basically spending the whole night out here until I get my goddamn curly fries.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so far he's not in the wrong.
You can see Ramos in his red pickup truck going back and forth with Ford. She walks away, comes back, and the argument continues. This went on for roughly 9 minutes before
9 minutes, Eric.
escalated.
Holy
Watch this.
shit.
Ford walks away from the window a second time. She pulls out a gun from her pocket.
Yeah, so that's a key moment to this story. So she pulls out her gun from her back pocket, just casually working the late shift at the drive-through Jack in the Box near the Houston airport. So she checks her gun. Eric, this is going to end great, right? There's nothing that could possibly go wrong here.
Look at her. Her finger's not even on the trigger. She knows what the fuck is up.
Oh,
She's ready. She is ready. Gun safety.
Okay. But the right thing she does right now, she walks away.
Checks it, and then puts it back.
Okay.
Another employee approaches the window to try and resolve the situation. But in the midst of that, Ford comes back and starts arguing with Ramos yet again. This time, things are more heated. Eventually, she starts throwing ketchup packets into his truck window.
Okay.
So he started throwing things back.
Yeah.
The other employee closes the drive-through window and locks it. But then Ford comes back yet again.
Oh, she's not done, Eric.
Locks the window, points her gun directly at Ramos, and starts shooting as he speeds away.
God.
Luckily, none of those bullets struck Ramos's vehicle, and no one was injured. Ford was charged and convicted of deadly conduct. And recent documents show her probation ended in June of 2023.
No.
Yeah. So
fucking shit. Look at her. She'll beat your fucking face in with her face.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. We don't tend to generalize on the show more than 3 or 4 times an episode, but there's cases to be made for profiling once in a while. That's all I'm saying. And this is a lawsuit that has gone up to corporate over there at Jack in the Box. And look, those curly fries are pretty good. I would probably wait 9 minutes for them. What you saw everything that I think you needed to see from the day in question. So there's a press conference, and so the guy driving the car is asked a question that, of course, this question came up as she's exploring her legal options.
She accused you of saying the N-word. Did you call her the N-word? Don't you work with African American people? Oh, every day?
So that's a very friendly reporter, by the way. You know, in court, we would call that leading the witness.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, well, don't you work with African American people? He's like, yeah, I do. So I didn't call her the N-word. And then I get to see Mr. Ramos, and I go, okay, well, maybe he didn't need the curly fries. Maybe she was just making a judgment.
Yeah, I don't know if that's fair, though. I mean, Jesus Christ, Anthony Cumia used to have black people on his show, and he says the N-word all the time.
It's a great point. Patrice was a good friend of his, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's neither here nor there. Even if he does say, oh yeah, I say ninja all the time.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean you can just shoot the fucker.
Yeah, I mean, also you threw ketchup packets at him. What is he supposed to call you? You meanie.
And by the way, look at that hair. You know he uses the N-word regularly. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but he doesn't use the hard R. So he says it affectionately to the guys he works with.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, so it's okay. It's
holy fuck.
I once heard a quote from Chevy Chase that he said, Richard Pryor told me I can use the N-word. So maybe that's what this guy thinks. He's like, yeah, Richard Pryor said I could use it.
Okay.
Anyway, that's I mean, we're one show into the year, and that's already one of my favorite videos we've ever had.
That's spectacular. I love how she checks it to make sure she's got that the thing's charged with one in the chamber. She's just going to fucking shoot him.
By the way, a halfway decent lawyer would have made the claim, well, she checked to make sure it wasn't loaded because she didn't want to actually hurt him. She just wanted to scare him. But instead, that moment, I believe, again, I am not a lawyer. I believe that's called premeditation. That one moment where she checks it. Anyway, we've done a lot of shows right around the holidays, and every time it's a big travel day, and it's supposed to be crazy at all the airports. Remember Thanksgiving, Christmas, and now New Year's, and every single time they send a reporter out there, and there's not really much to look at, and unfortunately that happened here at the Detroit airport, and of course, as we go to the Detroit airport, we check in with our correspondent, Dion from the film Clueless.
Hey, Lori and Charlie, I've had a great time all morning because I've been meeting so many people and learning about their New Year's Eve celebration. And one of them is Erica Ross. Good morning.
Hi, Erica.
Good morning. Erica's from Detroit, but you're heading to
Atlanta.
Great.
Now, Erica, what does Atlanta have over Detroit for New
Probably
Year's
a lot
Eve?
of things, I bet.
Not nothing really, but
okay.
going to see family and friends, so that's a good thing.
Cool story,
Now,
bro.
talk to me about the stress of navigating the airport on
How
New
stressful
Year's Eve.
was it?
Very surprising. It was actually really easy. I was shocked.
Oh.
What do you think made it easy for you? Did you get here in sufficient time?
I planned ahead and got here a little earlier than normal. My flight leaves at 1 o'clock, but I'm up, so I decided to just make sure that I can get here a little early. So
Okay, so her advice is get there before your flight, get there early. And I don't know. I mean, look, I can't say I've ever been to the Detroit airport. I'm sure you have. They look crazy there. I don't know how she was able to take time to talk to a reporter.
Talk about a nothing burger. I mean, it's like for once the airlines got it right on a holiday, and they have the world's most boring person with them. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible. It's like having you or I on there talking about it.
No, but I mean, we would have at least stuck some ninjas in there, you know. I mean, if she went to us, I think she would have regretted it. You know,
I like how JFK Head Chunk writes, I was late for my flight because I killed someone over curly fries.
That's beautiful, JFK Head Chunk. I love that. See, and that's the point that we should always make. If you're funny, you don't have to give us money. We'll put you up on the screen anyway. And JFK Head Chunk, just by being JFK Head Chunk, usually he gets up there.
Correct.
Well, I've got a quick one from the same news hit, and maybe you'll enjoy what this Lions fan had to say to her. Maybe this is a little bit more in the spirit.
So the Lions.
Go Lions.
What was that game like?
Oh, terrible.
What's your first and last name?
Joe.
Joe, what message do you have for the Lions?
Joe, we'll win next time.
Amen.
We'll win next time. I think they did because of when this is from. But I love, what's your first and last name? Joe. Right? We'll just move on.
Typical Hamtramck Detroit Polish fuck is what that is.
I feel like he is kind of the poster boy for the way I imagine Detroit. That was why I wanted to share him. And you know, if Michigan hadn't won, I had another person they talked to, but they won. So then the clip became useless. So it was somebody who's predicting a victory, and you know, but if they hadn't, boy, it would have been funny. All right. We've slummed it in local long enough. Let's get over to some national news. I think today is the first time I noticed the ow in there. I mean, we're blessed with the very talented Doug from the Jingles Department.
Yes.
So Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, you know, I can't say I love every movie, but usually I see him in something. He's usually pretty good. He's very consistent. He seems like a likable guy. You know, that's my take on The Rock. Okay. And he posted on his social media that he went to an In-N-Out Burger right here in Southern California. And what I saw in the video was that he was really friendly to everyone who worked there. He over-tipped everyone that he stood, you know, that was standing there in the drive-through line. And people came up, they knocked on the window, he rolled it down, and they're like, "Oh, are you Dwayne?" I'm like, "Yeah." You want a picture? He took pictures with everybody.
Yeah.
It seemed like a great story, you know, but that's not really the way local news looks at things, do you think? Is it, Eric?
No, there's got to be some cynicism in there in order to make the world go round.
Yeah. Oh, and don't worry. They will let you know right away. This is from something called the Celeb Post, which on this show counts as national news. But he posted in his Instagram story about this, that it was the first time he had been to In-N-Out Burger.
Dwayne Johnson seemingly lies about eating In-N-Out for the first time. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson seemingly lied when he claimed to have recently eaten In-N-Out Burger for the first time. The Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle star took to Instagram Saturday to document his first ever at In-N-Out Burger experience as he walked his followers through his ordering process. He captioned the clip, "Rolled up in my pickup and tried to be cool AF with my order, but I didn't know the lingo, didn't know who to pay, where to pay, didn't know anything." The video showed the actor encountering several starstruck employees, learning about the eatery.
Learning about the eatery's secret sauce. He didn't want any sauce on it. He's like, no, none of that stuff.
But the former pro wrestler apparently forgot that he's already been to the fast food joint at least twice in the past 6 years. In August 2022, Johnson also documented his first time ever eating In-N-Out on social media. He wrote at the time, alongside a photo of 2 burgers, fries, and bottles of his Terramana tequila, a hashtag cheat meal Sunday for the history books. A few years before, the Black Adam star shared a selfie with employees at the fast food chain's drive-thru in February 2017. During that visit, Johnson said that he didn't order anything for himself.
Yeah, he just picked it up for his wife. So, got you, Dwayne.
Okay.
You sucker.
How ridiculous is it? Because this person wrote, who fucking cares? Exactly. The fact that someone said, hey, let's go ahead and go through his entire feed and do all this shit. Of course he's not going to remember going through a goddamn In-N-Out burger. It's an In-N-Out burger. Who gives a shit?
I don't know if they still do it, but there was that TMZ show that they would do where it was like all of them in the bullpen, Harvey Levin and some other people.
Yeah.
And I always imagine that that's how, they're like, that's their pitch session. And somebody's like, yeah, so The Rock went to In-N-Out. And it's like, all right, there's not a story. Yeah, but he said it was the first time. Whoa, wait.
Right.
I know for a fact he's been there before because I follow his Instagram. We need you to cover that, Eric.
If there was a picture of him eating a child's asshole and he said, this is my first time eating a child's asshole. But there was numerous clips from posts from 3-4 years ago of him eating a child's asshole. Now we've got something spectacular, but not In-N-Out burger.
We also have a picture of him outside of a specific pizza place in Washington, D.C. So we would probably know that it wasn't the first time. But that's what made me laugh. The longer version of his social media post is everyone is so excited to meet him, and he couldn't be nicer to literally everyone. And they're like, yeah, but why did he say it was the first time? Probably because he's the goddamn Rock, and he doesn't remember driving through at In-N-Out Burger.
By the
he
way,
doesn't care.
What a huge pain in the ass when you just want to go get a hamburger and you gotta tip people and take the goddamn pictures. I mean,
well, that's why our buddy Carl always uses like Grubhub and DoorDash now, because every time he goes out in Rochester, people want to take pictures. They want to poke his frosted tips. And he's just like, enough already. I'm just like you. I'm a regular person with bad teeth and club feet. But, this is basically what he says. He's just like us.
For the record, I had nothing to do with that assault that just took place. That was all this goddamn loose cannon Christian attacking the boss. Motherfuck.
He can see the private comments that we send each other. So he knows that you sent that to me. Anyway, that's enough Rock talk. Let's go to the opposite of celebrity news and talk a little bit of politics.
A lot of people talking about Christian and Carl's segment, making it great with who are these politics?
And you should bring that back up. There was a not so super chat, but the boss let us know they aren't frosted. It must be the lighting, Carl, because I could swear they're frosted.
I know they're not. Okay, Carl, it's a fucking asshole right here. This goddamn shock jock that we're dealing with.
Look, I was raised in 90s shock culture. Okay, I'm a huge proponent of that style of approach. I always want to know who's fighting in the back office. Let's bring that on the air. All right, that's what we always need. And boy, the questions I have for Trucker Andy, when he comes on, what was it like at Carl's Florida house? Was it clean like John's, or was it a little bit messier than John's? Many questions.
Absolutely.
Anyway, it is 2024, and I think that a political year like this, a presidential election, is probably going to be fun for this show. But I'm not going to lie, it's always a little exhausting. The first presidential election I had to produce political talk radio for was 2008, so I had a few of them. And I always feel exhausted after one of them. But I can't imagine how poor Nikki Haley must feel, because, she's been out there for a while. And there's times where, she's on the debate stage and Vivek Ramaswamy is making fun of her kids. And she's just got to ask, why am I even doing this? And then She has to take this question from what seems like an episode of Are You Smarter Than a Fourth Grader? Because this is a fourth grader who asked the question.
I wanted to ask you, so Chris Christie thinks that you're a flip-flopper on the Donald Trump issue. And honestly, I agree with him. And you're basically the new John Kerry on the if you remember John Kerry from 2004.
What?
Do you remember John Kerry from 2004? Yes, she does, but there's no way you do. That's great that your parent or possibly someone from the Chris Christie campaign handed you $20 and a card to read.
Yes, and look at her smiling. All she wants to do is bury a high heel right into that little fuck's face.
Yeah, one of those Ron DeSantis high heels.
Yes,
right into this kid's face. Her answer is fine, but the fact that she's got, and look, all you can do is smile. I have to say, don't love the sweater. I don't know what this look is. I guess she's trying to be part of the people. This is in New Hampshire, and she's just like, yeah, I'm just like all of you. And then I think she would welcome 100 questions from fourth graders rather than this one. And I will let everyone know this is an abbreviated version of this interaction because the full thing's like 2 minutes. But our friends at Politico always make sure to cut out anything that could give you a different perspective. But I think that this really lets you know everything that you need to know about this question that Nikki Haley got.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Please, what was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Okay. So first of all, what a jerk off question for anyone.
Well, what would now I know what's going on here. I know what they're trying to get at.
Yeah, of course.
And I would say to the person like you or I, we would probably give the answer that this guy would love to hear, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. I think that the right answer is probably states' rights, and part of that is slavery. And then no follow-up questions, please, because I can't support any of the beliefs in that.
And truth be told, if I were asked that question, I would have said, well, as far as I can remember, everybody said it was slavery. So I'm going with that.
Yeah, right,
That's
exactly.
As far as I would go.
So so she's asked this point blank, and let's see how she handles the question. The way you or I would.
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do.
So basically the flash there, the little edit, is her not giving the answer that this guy is expecting. So his follow-up is really the key point in this interaction.
Freedoms and what people could and couldn't do.
Thank you. And in the year 2023, it's astonishing to me that you answer that question without mentioning the word slavery.
What do you want me to say about slavery?
Which, if we hadn't found another clip that we'll be playing a little later, the title of this episode would have been, "What would you want me to say about slavery?"
Correct. Oh, she just sets him up with that too. Yeah. What do you want me to say about slavery?
Yeah, and he says, "You answered my question," and he just moved on. So
God. Thank you to Jay Loiterer for throwing $1.99 our way. And saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year back to you.
Thanks, Jay Loiterer. And so far, that is the spicy hot take that's going to come out of my mouth at the end of the show. Happy New Year, fellas.
Yes.
We've had some real epic, top-notch things that people have had me say about German people, about the topic that Nikki Haley just dodged. There's a lot of things you can get me to say.
Yeah.
I just want to remind everyone, my 8-year-old and 6-year-old are downstairs, and they will hear me if you ask me to yell. Yeah.
And the 8-year-old and the 6-year-old, they hate Trump, and so does Christian. So you could have something. You crazy Trump fucks can say something that Christian would want to say, and then that'll make the world go round in an even more spectacular.
If it gets us super chats, everything that Eric Zane just said is true. And
yes.
If you need to say the opposite, then say that too. It's fine. Whatever it takes. Let's keep things political adjacent and go visit the world of punditry.
Folks out there need to listen up, mainly because here comes Who Are These Pundits?
So let's see. Robo Shitstain Mark 9000 in the Discord gave us this one, and I love Robo Shitstain Mark 9000. He gave us a couple clips. We'll try to get to both of them today, but if not, the other one will be saved for next week. So I wanted to share this one. This is a UK pundit who is beside herself because she doesn't have a bad point. Asylum seekers to the UK were trying to go back to the country that they fled, political persecution. They wanted to go back for Christmas to spend it with their families. So this is a clip of the government official kind of explaining that that's the situation. Let's hear what he has to say.
We do find a lot of people who, for example, have claimed asylum in this country and are heading back to their home country for holidays, which obviously isn't allowed.
And for commentary on that, we go to George Foreman in a wig.
So that was him talking on LBC. So these are people who have come to this country to
fucking Yoko Ono in blackface. God damn.
Yeah, and I knew why Robo Shitstain sent this to us. I think that this is an issue that is near and dear to him, but he also knew that we would want to hear what they had to say.
Seek sanctuary and claim asylum, right? But according to the definition of asylum seeker, an asylum seeker is a person who has left their country and is seeking protection from persecution and serious human rights violations.
And I need to point out for our audio listeners, they bring up the definition of asylum seeker, and what she says is not, it's a little bit close to what's on the screen, but she says something completely different. So she's like, according to this definition, this is an asylum seeker. She remains worked up in
another country, but who hasn't yet been legally recognized as a refugee and is waiting to receive a decision on their asylum claim. So if they're claiming asylum according to the definition, how come if they are genuine and truly fleeing persecution from their country, why are they trying to get back there on a plane for Christmas? It's hilarious.
It is hilarious, and I appreciate Robo Shitstain sending that to us.
Yes. That was spectacular. The JFK headshot says, "You can keep the curly fries." Shit.
Oh, there's a theme that I love. I love when we have a theme for an episode. Oh, Dang Lizard. I love Dang Lizard.
He threw whatever that is, €5.
Yeah, €5. Yeah.
It says the only question Christian Bladt, get asked by a fourth grader is, when are you gonna let me go?
See, Dang Lizard gets it. Dang Lizard absolutely gets it. That's what we're talking about. That's what we want. Oh no,
that is spectacular.
Glad principled uncertainty is there. Anyway, I have jotted down that, let's say that person's name, and I hope that we get to bring more commentary from her in the year 2024 because I'm excited for her.
I didn't even hear a word she was saying because I just pictured her crawling out of the fucking TV.
No, I just was confused because I think the last time I saw her, she was chasing James Bond around the Eiffel Tower in A View to a Kill. So it's been a moment. Anyway, we got another punditry moment, and I have to apologize that we have been neglecting our friends over at Newsmax for a while, and I think this is the perfect time to see what's going on over there. And thanks to Eric Bolling at Newsmax, he is out in front of an issue talking about the devil that so many of us are willingly letting into our homes. I'm, of course, talking about Taylor Swift. Let's hear what Eric Bolling has to say about this.
And although neither the NFL nor Travis Kelce really needs Taylor around, apparently the Democrats do, because make no mistake about it, Taylor Swift is clearly a tool. The withering and desperate left is all too happy to employ, as Joe Biden continues his precipitous and monumental slide, Taylor Swift. We already know that Taylor is no fan of Donald Trump's, an opinion she's voiced many times over, and in particular with this tweet back in.
I just have to point out that this is going to be some of my 20 favorite seconds in the history of this show. So sit back and enjoy, Eric.
In 2020, I'm quoting Tay-Tay. Donald Trump's ineffective leadership gravely worsened the crisis that we're in, and he's now taking advantage of it to subvert and destroy our right to vote and vote safely. Request the ballot early. Vote early.
Oh,
I don't even care about the point that he's making, but I do need to talk to not my buddy Easy, but Eric Bolling. What happened, man? Okay, we know what happened. There were allegations. But seriously, you're basically on a YouTube channel doing Mickey Mouse voices as an impression for the biggest star in the world. I feel like you can do better this year, bro.
Yeah, move over, Hack Ride. We just found the most annoying thing ever on the show.
Well, I'm so glad you said that we've found the most annoying thing ever, because I might be able to up the ante a little bit with a quick foray into the world of talk shows.
I said, can you dig it?
I think so.
WATB. Now who are these talk shows? Just who are these talk shows?
So obviously the Christmas season is behind us, but I felt like I could not let any more time go by without sharing this clip from The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, who apparently, according to this clip, every year they do an animated Christmas short. And Eric, you buckle yourself in, because this is going to be a really funny one. I have a snippet of this. It's called The Indictment Before Christmas. So get ready for the laugh. The Indictment Before Christmas. Sorry, I fucked up the
It was
clever
the
title.
day before Christmas.
All right. By the way, it says on screen narrated by Liam Neeson. It is actually narrated by Liam Neeson. So, you know, the probably the most capable voice we've had on this show in the history of 21 weeks.
Not bad.
The trees were all lighted, and all through the country, a douche was indicted.
Use the word
The
douche.
tinsel was hung on the old courthouse gate, which rang with the shouts of an orange lump of hate.
Big man! Order! Boobily boo! Order! Hannibal Lecter! Order!
His defense.
So, did you catch the spot-on impression of former President Trump that they shared with us, saying things that he always says, like "boobily boo"? I mean, I can't even think of how many times I've heard him say that.
You know, even if you hate Trump, who laughs at this? There's nothing. We're so saturated with Trump. There's nothing fucking funny anymore.
No, it's all been done, you know, and I think even, you know, the Alec Baldwin impression is a little suspect, but the first time you see it, it's like, okay, that's pretty funny. They got him to do it, but let's see if it picks up after that.
Was quite lousy, much like his fitness, with no options left.
I call one final witness.
While up in his workshop, Santa read thickets of letters all begging.
No, they dragged poor Santa into this.
Swift tickets? Even I can't score those.
Yeah, because even Santa can't get Taylor Swift tickets. I hope I didn't talk over a hilarious joke, Eric. If I did, I have to apologize to the writers of the Late Show.
There's none. There aren't any.
Okay.
It just makes me angry.
It's kind of why I pulled this. Oh, who's on the phone?
North Pole, how may I direct your wish? Hello, Sloppy Santa. Donald Trump? Aren't you in court on live TV?
No. Now listen, Chen. I just need you to get out that list and find me 11,780 nice things that I've done. Nice. Which is 11,780 more than we have.
11,000 nice
This is
things.
exactly what you're on trial for, you
In case you
numbnod.
didn't get it.
Good day,
Santa explains it to you.
Don't hang up.
And the caption on the screen, which I realize I may be covering up, it says, "Jolly old Saint Nick hangs up on grumpy old Dick."
Aha. Yeah. Okay.
So this is basically any time that I check in on Stephen Colbert, it basically feels like that. It's not always a cartoon, but it always feels like this is like a stack of jokes that they have that they want to make sure.
Yeah,
that they
no,
get in there.
it is horrible, and it's infuriating that they waste time on this, because it's like I said, no one laughs at that. JFK head chunk makes the point. You don't laugh. Liberals clap in political agreement. Now, say what you will about Trump. Like, I think he's a fuck, but I would never laugh at this. This isn't funny to me.
No, and I like, tell me who's going to laugh at like a Biden variation on this. You know, Biden's on trial for Hunter, you know, getting money from the Chinese, and he calls Santa. It's also not funny.
The only thing I laugh at is when Biden falls.
Yeah.
Or he fucking can't walk off the stage, or he's all fucked up. But that's actually he's got dementia, for God's sake.
that's real life stuff. No comedy writer is talented enough to be able to come
No.
up with Joe Biden. You know?
Oh, what a disaster. What a disaster. Thank you to Kelly Riddle, by the way, who wants Christian to say, I, Christian, am a not C sympathizer. I get
Yep.
it. Say it with me, everyone. Seek Kyle. Seek Kyle. Seek Kyle too.
Oh, I do need the TWO Tukey World Order drop. I don't have it. I would play it after that.
That is
You know what?
awesome.
I'm not going to use the exchange rate. That 5 and Dank Lizard's 5 are both winners to me. I would be happy to say both of those. But if somebody's got 10 laying around, then that might be a different story. But I would be happy to do that. But I'm going to be even happier to move on to our favorite part of the show and maybe our favorite clip of the week over in Sportscasters.
Home of the hourly triple play.
WATB, who are these sportscasters? Just listen and find out who are these sportscasters.
Christian, I want to jump in here.
Yeah, please.
I just wanted to say, this person here,
Chip Tony.
Tooth Tony, says this show is shit. And I want you to know that there are 55 other people who completely disagree with you. Chip
Well,
Tooth Tony.
let's be honest. Probably about 48 of them disagree.
Maybe
with him.
38, actually.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But I don't know if Chip Tooth Tony, his avatar is Fidel Castro or a young Liam McEnany. I can't tell which one he is, but I love the picture all the same.
Yeah, so thanks a lot, Chipped Tooth Tony, if that's your real name.
Hey, Chip Tooth Tony, we'll read it again if you put $2 next to it.
Yeah,
we'll
what do you think
say
of
it
that?
again.
Yes, we'll be your whore.
The first taste is free. So our first sports clip is, it's a great one. And Eric, you made sure that I saw this. Pat McAfee gets a little nervous that his colleague Reese Davis is about to say something that perhaps if he did say it, well, there would be a lot of there would be chaos on the set behind them.
Yes.
So let's check this out.
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator,
That
Bill
is
O'Brien.
not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me again.
And let's just note that the two guys laughing the hardest on the College Game Day
Yes.
are the two African-American gentlemen
Yes.
who find this very funny. Look, there are times where I see a lot of Pat McAfee clips, and sometimes I feel like he's definitely trying to get himself some attention by the things he said. I think legitimately he thought that that's what he was about to say. And just imagine the delivery that Reese Davis says, let a naysayer know. I'm going to go back to it. But just imagine if he used, a word that we refer to sometimes as ninja here on the show.
And it's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know.
Let a naysayer know.
That is fantastic.
Anyway, let's spend a few moments in Pat
Being
and
told
everybody
by
else's
his
reaction.
former offensive coordinator,
That
Bill
is
O'Brien.
not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me again.
The guy to our right of McAfee looks like he's going to fall out of his chair.
Reese, you were too slow with that. I thought it was going down.
Oh.
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Naysayer.
Yeah, let a naysayer know.
I love this. And why this is great. Because had he just done the stupid story about he's got his own brand, no one remembers that. No one remembers any of that. There it is. But now,
let a naysayer know.
You've got that's why that fucker is on there. Love him or hate him, he just did something that's so goddamn memorable. And it's perfect. You know, that is why he's paid that money. He's supposed to do that. I fucking love that he jumped in, interrupted the fucker, and now you've got a all-timer. That's an all-timer right there.
Well, speaking of an all-timer, Andy Q Public, Trucker Andy is a few minutes early. Andy, did you catch the clip we were just watching? Because I'm happy to have an excuse to watch it again, in all honesty.
Yeah, I did. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Oh, fantastic. I got some new gear that I'm testing out on you guys, but
well, Trucker Andy of the All Apologies podcast, and of course, who are these podcasts? You're a regular on the midweek episode, but Andy, we appreciate you joining us this week.
yes, I mean, I always listen to naysayers with attitudes. It's one of my favorite bands. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me one of those shirts.
Well, I wish that we had seen this before Christmas, because I think everybody at WATP Central back there in Rochester was going to get one of those sweatshirts from me. It's not too late.
Yeah, it's always next year.
Yeah, exactly. So let a ninja know is the way that we look at that. And we've got a few more fun sports clips to share, Andy. So before we get to our main event with you, but another one that's easy sent to me. I appreciate sending some my way. This one, it's very quick, but Ryan Fitzpatrick makes sure to identify himself to Aaron Rodgers. And well, let me play it, and then I'll react to it. And of course, I did my usual where I didn't actually have the clip up, but that's all right. We'll go back to it. It's fine.
Okay. Hey, Aaron, Ryan Fitzpatrick, class of 2005. How are you? Hey, buddy. Twice vaccinated. Quick question for you. I checked in with Vito, our mutual buddy, Hard Knocks.
And here's the thing, like, you can think what you want about Aaron Rodgers. He's just like, yeah, I know you said that because of it, but he's just cool. He just sits there and he's like, all right, yeah, that's fine.
You know, I like Aaron Rodgers when he does kind of roll with the jokes, you know, and that's fun, you know, but and then Fitzpatrick just dumping it on him like that. This is great. That's awesome.
Double vaccinated. Both of my ankles work. I'm killing it over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Fitzpatrick is a monster. He's a guy that post-career will go to a winter Buffalo game shirtless and sit with the fans and just like he's all in on the team, even though he's not on the team anymore. And he's a fan favorite. He's the best.
I love it when his personality allows him to make a career from, I mean, he was a mediocre quarterback. He was a career backup pretty much. And he's been able to parlay that into a post NFL life. I always think that's great.
Well, I ended up not using the clip, but unlike Matt Leinart, who was a career backup in the NFL, he can hang on to his cell phone. They had to move on the field, and Matt somehow lost his cell phone in the transfer. So, Ryan can hang on to his devices. So, because NBC decided to not invite Al Michaels, our buddy Al Michaels, who we spent a lot of time covering on this show, he's not going to be doing the playoffs. So he did his last game of the season this past Thursday. And boy, was it a great one. The Jets and the Browns. And so it's only because it's his last game. I wanted to share a moment of Al making a really current topical joke. And
I'm sure somebody pounding on that trash can. I think the Astros must be in town.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's pounding on a trash can. I think the Astros might be in town. You know what I mean?
Very timely. Are you feeling me? You feeling me, baseball?
Yeah, and he's also like, oh, I'm sorry, because he's like, oh boy, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one, aren't I?
Holy cow! Yeah,
Al Michaels says he's gonna do one more season of Thursday Night Football, and for whatever reason, Amazon can't come up with any excuses to not. So I'm excited when next season starts that we'll get a little bit more Al Michaels here on the show.
Very good.
That'll be legendary when he dies on the air.
Oh, no.
I think that's kind of what he wants to do. You know, that's definitely what. Well, the great Phillies broadcaster, Harry Callis, didn't die on the air, but he died in the broadcast booth prepping for that day's game. So, that's I think Al Michaels wants to one-up him. All right, I got another clip from Robo Shitstain Mark 9000 in the Discord. This is, again, geared towards our viewers who maybe don't love the sports content on the show. I present to you...
What
yeah,
the
I could
fuck
probably
is
turn it down a
going
little
on?
bit. But so there's a team of, let's say, little people and a team of regular sized people.
Regular size?
Well, sumo sized. I don't know where this game finds this stuff.
Okay. All right. So we got Team Paulino taking on Team whatever the fuck they
Team
are.
Bladt. That's okay. You can say it's me. That's all right. No
God
problem.
Damn, dwarves versus fatties is what those ain't real dude says. Jesus.
I'm reminded of 8-bit Nintendo hockey when I watch it. If you'll remember, they had the Pee-wee guy, the Fatso guy. All they need is the skinny guy.
Oh, Jesus
and then
Christ.
This will be an 8-bit Nintendo game.
That is awesome, though. Look at that. What a spectacle.
That's better than when we had the tubby ladies playing soccer. And I would love a tournament where we get to, on one field they have the fat broads playing football, and then over here we have the little person version. So, and both of those clips, by the way, came from Reverend Shitstain. Oh no, dang lizard!
Dang lizard adds another two euros to the already pile of money that he's throwing our way and says, "I, Christian Bladt, want to say I'm sorry." I don't get it, but okay.
I mean, there's so many things that I could apologize for. I think is really the point.
Great, I'll feature it on my show. Perfect.
Right, exactly. The next all apologies will be I'm going to apologize for the previous 47 years of my life. On my birthday. Well, in this next clip, I think the Cheez-Its mascot earns his status in the Mascot Hall of Fame because he does exactly what a mascot is supposed to do.
Here at Tennessee, the standard
This
is
is
go win championships.
whatever bowl Tennessee was in, Cheez-It Bowl. And look, the Cheez-It guy hands the box.
But the 24 season looks bright.
And lastly, because we have to hold the Cheez-Its up.
She holds up the Cheez-It box. And what does the mascot
special
do?
to you?
Their willingness to love one another.
He just sneaks up. He's like, well, my work here is done.
Yeah.
Oh, that is spectacular.
I absolutely love the way that he eases himself out.
He needs to start doing that like the way that you ice somebody with a Smirnoff Ice. Are you guys aware of what that is?
I mean, I know what Smirnoff Ice is, but no, I didn't know that you could ice someone with it.
Right. The game is, Smirnoff Ice is famously disgusting. Nobody wants to drink it on purpose. No. So what you do is you buy some as a joke, and then you walk around a party and you put your hand out to shake somebody's hand, and then you slip it into their hand. And if they accept it unwittingly, they need to take a knee and chug it. And I
love this.
And I want to see the Cheez-It guys start doing that. Like they need to start incorporating that kind of thing where he just like sneaks in the Cheez-Its into a live broadcast that way. She should have to eat that whole box.
Right. Jesus. I clearly don't get out enough, Andy. I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't heard of this. But I do know what I would like to send to a former call screener from the Howard Stern show. I now know what the next food delivery should be to his house.
Oh, yes.
Should be a case.
Vince the lawyer. Take notes, Vince.
I hope Vince is taking notes. Any of us who have ever had to do an ad read, especially a live read, this is a bit more for broadcasters, but we could feel for Kevin Harlan right here because his co-host is giving him nothing here.
Huh?
Huh?
Tonight on CBS. Here
Anything?
We are at the 2-minute warning. Finishing up this one. Full night of programming coming up for you. Tampa Bay on top, 30-12. Right outside they go, and that is caught by
I just want to tell you what's on TV tonight.
Oh, God.
CBS begins with 60 Minutes Presents.
Okay.
And Wildlife
All right.
Adventures. Followed
Wildlife
by
Adventures.
The game shows. Go ahead and try that one.
Oh, no.
Can you say any of those for me?
Loteria Laco.
Nope.
Laco. Tonight on CBS Sunday.
Oh, shit.
Jump in there. That was your Christmas present.
Yeah. He's like, you're supposed to help me there. Anything?
Yeah.
Loteria Loca. I mean, we all know that show.
That's almost as awkward as you and I. Jesus, that's horrible.
I mean, let's not insult Kevin Harlan's a great broadcaster. Let's not insult it. All right, one I've had on standby for a little while, but I actually listened to again today, unlike last week. And I love the way that Ryan Clark here on this ESPN show, he kind of strong arms a pop culture reference in as the show's ending, so no one can react to him.
And on Monday night, Jordan Addison ran away from these defenders like Jada Pinkett Smith running away from marriage responsibilities. And so they're going to have to try to figure out how do they stop Jamar Chase when you couldn't stop a guy like Jordan Addison, especially with the way Brian Callahan and Zach
And he's just
Taylor
gonna
are now
filibuster
moving him around
until the show
different
ends.
spots in the formation
Why
with
do
different
you
route
always do
combinations.
this? Why do you always do this at the
RC,
end of the show?
They in them entanglements.
There are
They having them entanglements.
And obviously that guy loves it.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
they're in them entanglements.
Oh, I can see why Dan Orlovsky got on TV. He's so handsome. Holy shit. Look at that guy.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the picture that Ron DeSantis brings into his trainer. Is like, that's what I want to look like.
Holy shit.
Jada Pinkett's running faster than she runs to make a reference about how she used to know Tupac. That's all she ever talks about.
Andy, did we get any resolution from our buddy Carl? I've been doing the show about what we can do. I'm gonna play the one clip that there's no question about. But if you need to sidebar with me in the private chat, you can let me know. But
yeah, I don't have any further information, but
Okay.
I feel like I sweetened the clip enough where
your new version of it should be okay. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, and if Carl's watching, go ahead and look at your texts, and you'll see we've done something to something. But Andy,
guys, if anybody takes this episode down, would anybody even notice?
Robo shit stain, because
Yeah,
I don't think
okay.
he's watching live, and I told him we were going to play 2 of his clips. So Robo shit stain will be
okay.
very upset. But to your point, no one else. Just Robo shit stain. But Andy, as we mentioned, you and Joe Sixpack do the All Apologies podcasts, and I thought that this was a great opportunity to have you feature some of the great epic apologies of 2023. And are there a couple that come to mind that you've got 2 clips for us? Are there a couple that almost made the cut that really stand out for you?
Of course, the big ones this year were probably Drew Barrymore when she tried to get on with this show during the writers' strike.
We had that on this show. That and sometimes you might want to put makeup on before you do something.
Right. Well, and to your point with that, that's become a staple of public apologies, because in addition to that Drew Barrymore one, you had Mila Kunis looking like complete shit with Ashton Kutcher apologizing for going to bat for
being friends with Danny Masterson. Yeah.
A date rapist. Yes. Yeah. Date raper Masterson. And we just covered another one. There was an Italian influencer, Chiara Ferragio, something like that. A huge influencer in Italy. And she pulled a Stuttering John where she said she was going to give the proceeds of these cakes that she was promoting to a children's hospital, and it was all bullshit. So then she had to go on a big apology tour where she looked less than glamorous. She had to dress it down. It's all about dressing it down and trying to look like you're just an average schmuck that made an honest mistake. So that's where we're at with public apologies in 2023.
I know that everybody loves when I name drop, but it's relevant in this moment. My kids used to go to the same preschool as Ashton and Mila's. And what I will tell you about the video that you're talking about, she looks pretty good in that video. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
could be a little worse.
It's hard to make her look like shit, but
yeah,
she tried her best.
Yeah, right. She absolutely tried her best. All right. So the first one that we're going to share is Neo. And what kind of setup do we need for Neo before we let it roll?
Well, when you messaged me, we talked about the worst and the best.
Yes,
and
correct.
Neo to me, this falls under the category of the best. And it's kind of a long clip. It's about 2 minutes long, so feel free to stop it as he goes through it.
Well,
if you want
you
to say
clearly
something about
don't watch this show if you think 2 minutes is a long clip. But go ahead.
Okay. for by WATP standards, it's long. But the reason I wanted to feature this one is because he's a father of 6 or something like that. That he knows of. You know, he's trying to take care of these kids. Yeah. And somebody asked him a question about transgender issues and how he feels if one of his kids would come to him about being transgender. And I don't know the age bracket of all of his children, but yeah, he said what he said about what he would do with his kids. And then on all apologies, we call them the alphabet. The alphabet decided to take him to task. So he needs to go on Instagram and justify what he said. And this is one of those famous non-apologies. I'm sorry you're offended, but I'm going to do me.
Those are my favorite kinds.
And this is the best. This is the way to do that.
Absolutely.
What's going on, loved ones? This is Neo. All right, listen. I normally don't give too much of a damn about what y'all think about what I do, what y'all have to say about what I say, whatever. I normally don't care because, like I said, opinions ain't special. Everybody got one. However, this is something.
So we're 14 seconds in, and Eric, you've spotted 2 lies.
Whenever they say that, of course they care. He should start by saying, "I want you to know that when you say something, I care about it, and I want to kick your fucking ass because you don't agree with me." That would be honest.
Yeah. I
agree.
Mean,
he's not washed up and he's not talented, but he's past his prime.
Yeah.
So he's definitely doing this. Like, he definitely needs all of the work that he could get.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. All right. Let's get a little bit more into this.
And I feel very strongly on, and I need y'all to hear this from the horse's mouth, not the publicist's computer. So check this out.
All right.
First and foremost, I do not apologize for having an opinion on this matter. I am a 43-year-old heterosexual man raising 5 boys and 2 girls. Okay. That's my reality. Now, if my opinion offended somebody, yeah, sure. I apologize for you being offended because that wasn't my intention. My intention is never to offend anybody. However, I'm entitled to feel how I feel. I'm absolutely entitled to feel how I feel the same way you are entitled to feel how you feel. I ain't asked nobody to follow me. I ain't asked nobody to agree with me. I was asked a question and I answered the damn question. Okay.
So by being on social media, by the way, isn't he, to Eric's point earlier, he's automatically asking people to follow him by being a public figure and having a social media account. It's not, because if you don't want to be followed, then you're one of those famous people that has it on private, it's just for your friends.
I always love the double down, though. This isn't, whenever the word apology is used with this tone and this type of aggressive nature, that's a double down. That's fantastic. So I actually give him credit for that.
Okay. I have no beef with the LGBTQIA plus community whatsoever. I ain't got.
By the way, he made sure he got it right. You know how when some of us might dismiss some of those letters, might leave off the play. He's like, he's probably got to post it on the steering wheel of the car he's doing this from. Make sure you get it right. He's like, all right, that's the one thing I'm going to listen to from my publicist.
I got no beef with y'all. Do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Do what you want to do with your kids. However, somebody asked my opinion on this matter, and this is how I feel. I will never be okay with allowing a child to make a decision that detrimental to their life. I will never be okay with that. I don't care. I definitely plan to educate myself a little bit more on this matter. However, I doubt that there's any book anywhere or any opinion that somebody's going to tell me that's going to make me okay with letting a child make a decision like that. That's just period, point blank. And that's how I feel.
So there's a little bit more, but so he doesn't care if there's a book that might help him understand. He's like, yeah, I don't think a kid should make an opinion that might hurt them. And, he's the parent of apparently quite a few kids, Andy.
Right. Yeah.
He rattled off 5 boys. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. And 2 girls. I'm like, Jesus, take it out once in a while, buddy.
So, Andy, do you qualify this as a non-apology then, right?
Sure. when I started the podcast, I basically took a lot of inspiration from walking in and out of the living room while my wife was watching Real Housewives, and all the apologies on those shows are all just like, oh, I'm sorry you were offended, but I'm gonna do me. So this falls into that category.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's hear Neo wind down on this.
If I get canceled for this, then you know what? Maybe this is a world where they don't need a Neo no more. All right. And
whoa! This world always needs a Neo. Hold on. That's crazy talk.
Problem with that. I'm a hustler. All right, I'll figure it out. I got kids to raise, and I'm gonna do that regardless.
Sure do.
So with that being said, y'all have a good day. I love everybody. Live how you want to live, love how you want to love, but your opinion is yours. Speak your opinion as much as you damn well feel like it. Because as I said, they're not important, they're not special. Everybody got one, and you're entitled to it. I'm entitled to mine. All right. Y'all feel how y'all want to feel. Have a great day. It's neat.
Okay.
So my opinion is that this is a terrible hat. This lone wolf hat where it's just a hat with a patch on it. Neo, you're doing all right. You could do better than this. By the way, about 10, 12 years ago, Tracy Morgan got in trouble for saying as a joke, "I'll kill my son if he acts gay." I just looked it up to remember what the quote was. But he's a comedian, and you can get away with not real. But that's also 2011, not 2023. So
wasn't that? Didn't Kevin Hart say something similar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But used to be a very common thing to say.
Yeah. But it's usually said as a joke, but also, I think. I don't know. I'm a parent. I know Eric, you are as well. And sometimes I appreciate being allowed to decide what I think is right for my kids. If somebody wants to offer feedback, you do it ahead of time. You don't have to listen to it, but after the fact, don't be like, no. Your kid should really not have taken this stance.
If someone's kid does do that, and a famous person is the parent, I don't give a shit if they talk about it as long as it's funny. As long as there's something interesting or funny. And Neo, that was interesting to me. I mean, that was good,
Yeah. And there's one thing, if I know one thing about raising children and parents, it's that you don't tell, even if you see somebody actively doing a bad job, you can't tell somebody how to raise their kids.
Exactly.
It's not your place. And you don't know what happened a half hour before this, or what's going to happen maybe that kid's a total asshole. That happens all the time. Maybe they deserve to get slapped around.
You know what I say when somebody shows up at my kid's birthday party in November 2023 and everyone in the family, including the kid, have masks on? I say, great to see you. Go ahead and put the present on the table. I'm not involved in any of whatever you do you. That's fine. It's going to be tough when the pizza comes out, but you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
it's fine. I agree with all. I can say that is that's one of the best non-apologies ever. How long ago was that, and has there been fallout for Neo for that, Andy?
Yeah, I feel like that had to be in October.
Okay.
So. And like I said, Neo's pretty much irrelevant. I don't know of anything. He's a songwriter, so he should just be writing songs. Like he wrote that song "Umbrella" for Rihanna. Was such a huge hit. So I hope that's what he's doing. And
and the fact that he wrote that song means he could actually get canceled and still be okay. Because that song's still around.
Principled, who I remember Principled, says also you can't make your kids think as you want. They come out as they are, as it were. That's fantastic. And that's one of the things about young people, sidebar, that I think that old fucks like me, if you don't get on board, you're fucked. Like my daughter came up to me one time and said, "Hey, I'm gay." And I went, "Oh, cool. Yeah." And she's like crying. I go, "What are you crying for? Come on, go be a lesbian." Holy shit. And that was my attitude about it. So now I didn't feel that way like 10 years before, but my point is life gets so much easier when you don't give a fuck. So, I mean, seriously, that's kind of how I think people should behave.
Well, now I think I understand why on another channel right now, Shuli is actually making fun of your kids. Now it all makes sense. It all adds up, Eric. The other apology that you presented us with, we did some trickery with this, It's actually my favorite apology, maybe of all time. Can you explain for people who maybe don't know who Colleen Bollinger is? Miranda says is her like character. This character was huge, and I guess my kids weren't the right age that I had no idea who she was.
Yes, I mean this apology falls under. We're putting it under the worst apology of the year, but it's also the best, and it's probably one of the most talked about. And Colleen Ballinger had a character called Miranda Sings that was sort of akin to, I mean, I don't want to really say this, but like a Pee Wee Herman type of character where there's a lot of like obnoxious, outrageous things. But I love Pee Wee Herman. I don't like Miranda Sings.
Kristen Wiig had a character very similar to this on SNL. She was really annoying. I can't remember what her name is. I want to call her Kindy, but I know that's not right. But it's something like that, you know.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So it's just leaning into being awkward type of character. But what happened was that she used to go on social media and interact with her fan base as the character and try and as a 27, 28, low 30-year-old woman interacting with 13-year-old, kids under the guise of being a 13-year-old kid. 10 years removed, people are start pointing at, like, maybe you shouldn't have said this. A lot of asking about periods, asking about boners, asking, if you have wet dreams, shit like that. Sorry, guys.
But wait, did the kids have wet dreams? What did they say in the chat? So no, you know what? It's not important. Never mind.
Well, irrelevant because they're kids and she's an adult, and now.
Hey, I asked the question JFK Head Junk. I wanted people to know why she's apologizing because I think it's actually very funny that that she found herself in this situation. That she's like a kids performer, and then kids write to her, and she's making jokes about boners and wet dreams.
Yeah, right. But it goes back. This kid Adam McIntyre has made a career out of pointing out how she was inappropriate with him. She put him to work. She was promising him like a paid job if he tweeted for her as her.
Right.
And when he was a kid, she sent him. There was a video of her and her partner, and the guy was like wearing some new underwear that she got over his clothes. So this guy is sitting there wearing like a lingerie set.
Perfect.
And then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna send Adam this underwear."
Yeah.
She didn't wear it. She didn't wear it or anything. See,
I wonder how Neo would have felt if this package had shown up at his house.
Yeah. So this is the problem with the whole Colleen Ballinger fallout because I feel like she is a creep, but she's not a sexual predator.
Right.
She kind of like weaponized children and used children, but she wasn't like trying to fuck kids, which a lot of people have sort of assigned that to her that haven't done all the research, like All Apologies podcast.
Hey, Eric, are we at the point where we're supposed to say, not that there's anything wrong with that? If somebody, I actually don't know. I'm actually not sure where we are. It's 2024.
There's something wrong with it. There's something wrong with all of it. At any rate.
Kerry Riddle has
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm jumping in. Kelly writes, how did Eric Zane avoid saying all this horrible shit? The kiss part sucks, by the way. Love you guys too.
TWO. Yeah. All right. Well, let's check out Colleen, and this is I'll take a breath for a second in case our buddy Carl needs to make an edit here, but I feel like Andy did the right thing to this clip and how she decides to go on and apologize for really everything that was happening. Oh, I see what you did.
Hey, it's been a while since I saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break.
Hasn't been doing so great.
Things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining. Right?
As long as it's entertaining.
You guys having fun?
We're having a lot of fun.
All aboard the toxic gossip train. Trotting down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train. You got one way ticket to the manipulation station. toxic gossip train. Tie me to the tracks and harass me for my past. These rumors look like facts. If you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash, but hey.
So, Eric, are you familiar with this apology? Do you know much about it, Eric?
Negative.
How long do you think that this song is? And don't worry, we're not going to play the whole thing.
Well, since I'm just going to throw out it, she does it for 3 minutes.
They're very close. It's a little bit more than 2, right, Andy?
Oh no, it's considerably longer.
Oh, is it really?
Oh my God, it goes on forever. It's a lot of strumming the ukulele and explaining what happened. So I don't think I'm underestimating to say that it's over 10 minutes. It might even be,
no!
It might it might even be longer. It might be like pushing 15.
Wow.
But it's not worth playing it all.
No, it's not worth playing all the way through. I
Yeah.
just want everybody to know that she thought that the thing to do was out of character to sing and sing about the toxic gossip train, which, well done.
Right.
And I just for people who maybe don't know, the WATS got struck from by having this in an episode, and they had to cut it out when it happened.
Correct, because one of the more brilliant moves that she made. That's why that sounded kind of weird with the it's the Trucker Andy remix, because I put a little fair use rap beat behind it.
I thought that was Neo under her.
Yeah, yes, I said Neo. And I sped it up a little because it's a song that she copywrote, that anybody that plays it gets hit with legal action. They're forced to take it down. So that's kind of a brilliant move on her part, whether she meant to do it or not.
It's very smart, because anybody who wanted to comment on it all got struck, and she did it as a song. It's the cringiest cringe of the week. Before we move over to our Hall of Fame segment, I did remember that our buddy EZ sent me a clip late, like right before the show. And can you set up the Harbaugh family?
Okay. Local Detroit sports guy, Brad Galley. That's Jim Harbaugh's dad and mom. All right. Now, let me just say, I fucking hate Jim Harbaugh. He's the fucking weirdest dude ever. And we now know where he gets his weird shit from. These two assholes. Wait until you see and hear these two fucks after Alabama fucks up the playoff game and loses the game. This guy goes to mom and dad Harbaugh, and these two are just annoying as shit.
I'm excited because this doesn't usually happen on the show. I haven't seen this yet, so I can't wait to enjoy
Your
it.
son talks about the two of you all the time. He's talked about this moment coming for this program for a long time. How do you put into words your emotions right now?
Are you kidding me? They won! What's better than that?
Sorry, she sounds like Eric Bowling's Taylor Swift impression from a little earlier in the show.
I figured out a family that we used for a long time. And it goes like this. Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
I know you get tense during these games. Were you on the edge of your seat throughout this one?
Well, of course. We were yelling and screaming.
That's her real voice.
The biggest play in the game was right before the long drive. Jackie decided that we should switch seats.
Oh, my goodness.
And I moved to her seat. She moved to mine, and this is the result.
Well, that's why they won.
Now he's doing championship at a certain time, maybe a little earlier in that game.
It's Oh God, Book 5. He
Now
explains.
he's doing old man story time. Jackie decided to change seats, and then she took off her shoes. And by the way, you look like somebody I know. Are you from Minnesota? Oh my God! Oh fuck! The whole family's got autism.
They really do. All right. Well, it was New Year's Eve, and we need to spend a little time looking at great New Year's Eve broadcasting moments in history.
Flashback.
WATB. Way back into time. Let's find out who are these broadcast histories.
That's a great comment from JFK Head Chunk. You go ahead and read it, Michigan man.
Michigan hasn't won since we were at the dentist last 1998.
She's delightful. I'm gonna try and find us some more clips of her. One of the benefits of living on the West Coast when you're raising small kids is that New Year's Eve doesn't have to really be anything crazy. And in fact, what we usually do is we put on CNN because they count down to the ball drop in Times Square at 9 o'clock our time. So we do the countdown. We put the kids to bed, and last night I was asleep before 10 my time. It was great. So this is not the best clip, but I filmed this with my phone. We were watching this, and I was like, oh, I just thought we would have some New Year's Eve fun, but there might have been a little indoctrination if you want to give a listen. Can you guys hear them?
Yeah,
barely.
Coming with you is a great joy.
Yeah, so he says, I appreciate you coming because I really enjoy coming with you. It's a great joy. And I was like, oh, thanks, Andy Cohen. But Eric, you sent me a much better clip, which I tuned in after this. So I was not sure what the hell was going on. They were talking to John Mayer. He's surrounded by cats.
Yes.
Which I think well, why don't you explain where he is?
He's in Tokyo. He's in Tokyo. It's in the middle of the afternoon in Tokyo. He's at a bar where, for some reason, their novelty is they have cats everywhere throughout the bar. So Andy is doing the questioning, and Anderson can't stop laughing. John Mayer has a straight face during all of this. It's a spectacular clip.
It's called Cats in the Box in Tokyo, celebrating New Year's. We're already halfway through the first day of 2024.
Listen to just how much Anderson's laughing.
Shin and just 5 other proprietors of the bar.
Talk to me about this bar.
I'm not quite sure why it's formatted.
Yeah, that's weird. It's
because I want to see the cats.
Yeah, I do too.
The cats is the best part. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So
they've also been doing shots of tequila all night.
Correct. Yeah, they
Cooper
do.
is like drunk off his ass.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that in a little bit. That's a regular thing that they have here. Yeah, I'm sorry. I only glanced over and I realized that we couldn't see the cats. So
it's weird.
We should have them now. But sorry, everybody. We didn't.
That's all right. That was the best thing that happened on that show all night.
Yeah.
Everybody else they bring on has like 1 foot out the door as soon as they get in there.
Yes.
Like everybody's just
so
trying
here
to get
they
away
are
from having to do this.
And you see John Mayer surrounded by cats.
Yes, and he has straight face throughout it too. So
John Mayer does play this really well.
He
He's
does.
like, I don't know why you guys think this is so funny.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, you don't? All right.
Oh,
because I put it in the wrong place. You can see it, right? But you don't hear it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's good enough. We get what it is and that they're laughing so hard.
We'll cut it out in post.
No, we're gonna leave it in. That's fine.
Cut that part out.
Yeah, cut that part out. But you can kind of see what it is and why that was there. But in any case, I was a little put off by. I'm like, oh, okay, at least they're having fun. But then I did remember a few years ago that Andy Cohen did actually have a pretty great moment on this show, this New Year's Eve show that they do, because as Andy was referencing, they do tend to have a fair amount of tequila during this broadcast, don't they, Andy?
Yeah. Well, there were a couple of years where I think they got too drunk and they wouldn't let them drink anymore. Right. And then there was also years where it was raining, but there was terror threats on the event, so they weren't allowed to have umbrellas. So compared to those past years, this was a more fun. Yeah, and it still got awful, but it was better than it has been.
This is a pretty good moment from about 2 years ago.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, please tell us something, Andy.
Watching Mayor de Blasio
Don't go on a rant.
do his
Don't go on a rant.
victory lap dance after 4 years of the crappiest term as the mayor of New York.
You love this.
The only
He's already
thing
lost his voice.
that
It's
Democrats
just
and
after midnight.
Republicans can
That's
agree
how-
on
I mean,
is
this is
what
how-
a horrible mayor
This is
he
how
has
he-
been.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sayonara,
But
sucker.
I don't know. Yeah, sayonara sucker is the big takeaway from that. But
Yeah.
as
Pretty
bad
sure-
as it. Go ahead, Andy. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say, I'm pretty sure that was the incident that led to them not being allowed
Not
to drink
drinking
for a
next
couple
year.
of years. Yeah.
Well, it's funny though because it is one of those you don't know what you got till it's gone, and the version of this show that Anderson used to do with Kathy Griffin I thought was really unwatchable. But I don't know, they seem like they're having
I'm
fun
starting
here.
to sweat already.
I'm gonna tickle your sack.
Tickle his back.
Did you say sack? That's not bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no sack of gifts here. There's no sack of
Are they
gifts
not
here.
even seeing my naughty
There's nothing.
gestures?
A sack of Christmas presents. I did not bring the sack of
Do you
Christmas
call your
presents.
private your Christmas presents?
What?
You call your private part your Christmas presents? Really?
Sack of
That's
presents.
typical hot guy. Let's open up the Christmas presents.
If you do want to join the conversation,
Kathy Anderson,
Not a-
people have been
but
kissing
if that's
the
not
sardine
enough,
all
we got
night,
one more.
and there's not any sanitizer put on the sardine's mouth, but it is a tradition, and we have heard doctors tell us that no one has ever gotten sick from kissing the sardine in Eastport,
yeah, I'm
Maine.
sure.
2013 here in Canada, 1 mile away.
So
It's
she,
also
bends down
2013.
to,
This was
kiss
a
the
dual
sardine,
celebration,
as it
2
were.
time zones, 2 countries, Canada and Maine.
Late
Anderson,
enough in the
Kathy,
night where
Happy New
Anderson's
Year
just
to
kind
you.
of
No, did
trying
you
to
did you
fight
drop
off.
something? You
No, I
dropped
was
something?
kissing
No, yeah,
the
I got
I
it.
can do it again. I can do this all night long.
No, sweetie.
I'm going on Letterman any
Anderson's-
nights and he wants any
Anderson's
moment.
probably
I'm going
fucking
down.
grossed out.
You know you want to.
Believe me, I really don't.
It's just
That, yeah, I just
He's
wanted
like,
to get that
no.
in there. She's like, you know, you want to. He's like, believe
Yeah,
me.
no. If you were a dude, yes.
I mean,
okay, but,
yeah, but
no.
Really, would any of us be like? I mean, I guess, and I don't know. I mean, I guess shame on CNN for thinking like, the fourth lead on Suddenly Susan. We should really pair her up with Anderson Cooper. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Is she still alive? Didn't she hold Trump's head and she hasn't been
Yeah.
seen since?
No,
Well-
she did. Did you do an episode on her apology where she also didn't have makeup on, Andy?
Oh, that's a good one. That's going on the list. No.
Okay.
But yeah, Eric, you don't hear from her because facial recognition software doesn't recognize her anymore. She's a monster now. She's
Oh, no.
totally different. Yeah.
Wow.
It's ironic because she's the one that smells like fish. But she was trying to kiss Anderson's sardine.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure the chat loved seeing Kathy Griffin, Eric. Right? I mean, it's
Yes,
she's a
let's see.
national treasure at this point. You know.
She looks like Andy Dick now. That's what.
Also
yeah,
true.
Yeah, one comment.
Dwyer Christian. Yeah, that's a good friend. Well, his dick inverted into his upper thigh. So, we'll just have a brief walk down memory lane for New Year's Eve because we can say what we want about the CNN New Year's show, whether it's with Andy Cohen or Kathy Griffin. But I think we've really come a long way since the era where we decided that what we needed to do is start the new year by basically putting a retard on screen to welcome us back.
Well, we're getting closer to midnight, and everybody is starting to look to one spot, high atop number 1 Times Square. And that's because we're just minutes away from the lowering of the giant ball.
Yeah. It's such a sad moment because, Dick Clark was long before this. They called him America's oldest teenager. And then I guess at this point he was America's youngest corpse because he was still walking around a little bit. And these shows where they still had him there, but then Seacrest was down doing like all the heavy lifting. I mean, they were pretty uncomfortable to watch.
Right.
And I get it that he probably still really wanted to do the show, but I don't know. Just put him in a studio and tell him that he's doing the show. Don't actually put him on television. Like, I guess some people thought it was inspirational, but I don't want to be inspired. I just want someone who can count. And that's really the kind of all that job is. Can you count? And well, Dick wasn't so good at that by 2005.
Thank you, Ryan. We're less than 30 seconds away from the big moment, and we're coming up on 20 seconds.
Nope.
30 seconds. There it goes. They're waiting in
Pretty close.
anticipation.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
You'll probably get it by the time they get to 10, right?
There we go now.
Now it's 20. Now it's 20.
All right. There it goes. Down she goes.
Yep.
50, 40, 13, 12.
Okay.
8,
Uh-oh.
7,
They got away.
4, 3, 2, 1.
3, 5, 6, 7.
Well, you know what? He got it a couple seconds early, but I don't know. Should that really matter, guys?
It seems to get worse. Like every time I see it, he misses another number. It's like it's changing. I keep thinking people are fucking with it with AI or something in some way.
No. This is this is exactly what it was. And let's say goodbye to our episode and our walk down New Year's Eve past with really, I think this is just an eloquent description of everything that's going on there in Times Square, which for anybody that's never done it, I don't think you need to, because Dick Clark's going to explain to you exactly what it's like.
It's quite a party, Ryan. It never changes. The best organized, happiest group of people in the world all come here to New York. Look at them. Are they having a time?
Oh, they're having a time.
Happy New Year 2006.
We can read.
You can always count on a good time. It is just the best.
Oh, God.
Strangers gathered and not a moment of violence. Happiness revealed. Thank you, Mariah.
Oh, God.
I had to leave it for the, hi, Mariah. She can't hear you.
You know, if he were alive today, you realize he'd do a podcast. That would be, can you imagine the gold mine that Carl would have if Dick Clark were around doing a goddamn podcast?
Oh, I think he would need his own show.
That'd be like Perry Caravello's podcast.
Anyway, I had fun going down that walk down memory lane. I couldn't find when Dick first was on camera for that. I guess that maybe that's what they scoured the internet for, because I remember that. I remember him talking to us for the first time.
Right.
And there's a moment after midnight where he kisses his wife, and you can just tell she's like, "Oh no, I didn't want this. Not like this." Anyway, if you want to see a fun New Year's, look up MTV Nero's Eve 1987. The Beastie Boys get shit-faced and they go stage diving, and MCA misses and lands on the floor. But I can't play it because Fight for Your Right to Party is playing the whole time.
Yep.
So you look for that yourselves. But that is all the time for our show. Andy Q Public, thank you for being here. Let everybody know where they can find the All Apologies podcast, and tell us what you and Joe Sixpack have coming up over throughout 2024.
Yeah, thanks, Christian. Eric, thanks so much for having me. We do a show that you can really jump in on anywhere, because we feature apology tours from celebrities, politicians, athletes, anybody that has screwed up and is trying to get the public back on their side. And this week we're starting 2024 strong with Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman tried to live stream his self-made documentary about how he and Corey Haim both got raped, and he was going to expose these Hollywood rapists, and he had a theater full of people, and he was live streaming it, and it shit the bed. And so then he issued a public apology about that.
But by the way, that is the only thing Corey Feldman needs to apologize for.
Yeah.
When Carl was on a few weeks ago, we played some clips. Everything else Corey's doing is right, but he should apologize for that.
I just wanted to talk about Corey Feldman. So. But yes, so we have an Instagram page where I dig up apologies that are in the news all the time. There's one every day. There's 3 or 4, but so follow us on Instagram at All Apologies Podcast, and find us anywhere you download podcasts. So yeah, All Apologies Podcast.
And
if I go to my old radio days and I find one of the numerous times I had to go on the air and say I'm sorry for doing this or that, that would be fun, wouldn't it? This is Eric Zane when he got fired and I had to apologize.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised that Cardiff hasn't already sent me that. It seems like it's in his wheelhouse of anytime that somebody gets fired and has to apologize.
Well, we're very close. We're very close to having some streaming or doing our show like similar to the way you guys get it done. So once we get that up and running, Eric, I'd love to have you come on and tell us all about your apology tour.
Oh my God, yes.
Well, and you're the opening act for Subreddit Surfing Live at Comedy with Carlson on March 9th, correct?
Thank you for reminding me to plug that.
Yeah.
Yes, March 9th, Subreddit Surfing Live at Comedy at the Carlson. Carl Hamburger is going to be hosting, and then All Apologies is going to do a segment, and you just might see some Who Are These Podcast personalities on stage with us as we cover some Who Are These Podcast type of characters apologizing. So.
Lucy.
You want to see Lucy type box, yeah.
God.
Well, you'll see Andy and Lucy tomorrow or Thursday for the audio audience on the midweek show. I believe you guys are going to be analyzing podcast dramas, produced audio dramas. I think there was some confusion as to what the word drama meant last week, which was actually entertaining in its own right. So,
I got a doozy too. It's I don't really want to spoil it.
No, don't spoil it. Yeah,
I'll say that there's some singing involved.
I have the reputation that I do with the WATP audience because I came on with multiple improv podcasts, and one of them was an improv Dungeons and Dragons drama. So there's a lot in that sponge to squeeze out. Eric Zane, where do people find you?
Well, Christian, in the interest of brevity, I will just remind everybody that I have a Patreon that has tons of material for you to enjoy. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Sign up for 7 days free to try it out. Now, when it comes to that, you can literally put your little payment form in and cancel it immediately, and you still get the 7 days. Okay? I don't try to scam anybody on that. So sign up for 7 days free, and then just cancel it. Then you get the 7 days. If you like it, sign back up. If you don't, that's cool. There you go.
Well, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ. If you want to check out my show, it's a Blackcast, BLADTCAST. You can find the YouTube channel and wherever you find podcasts. If you want to leave us a voicemail, go to whoarethese.com to find the phone number. And please mention it's for WATB. And I will always mention that some of the best $5 you can spend every month is to join the WATP Patreon. There was an epic bonus episode Sunday where yet again, Lady Kmott's on there talking about my kids. But Shuli, producer Chris, and Eric, your favorite, Lucy Typebox, was there as well. They went through with some dramatic readings of Stuttering John's adult children giving speeches at Susanna's second wedding. So it was a great one. Anyway, I know as we had to inform the affiliates, we've gone a little long tonight. But we appreciate everybody hanging in there. Andy, thank you so much. I feel like there'll be plenty of apologies in 2024, so we'll definitely be sure to have you back. Eric, I wanted to read 2 super chats, but I don't know if they're close together. So
I'll figure it out.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And did you ever put this one up from our buddy Liam? When do you apologize for 90-minute kiss segments? I just say that the episode was 90 minutes. The kiss segment was 40. And our second kiss segment was only like 29 minutes. All right. I get excited, Liam. Okay. So
yeah, he's going to go to the Avatar shows, which by the way, will be coming in 2027. That's his thing.
I did hear that in 2027. Yeah. So, all right. Well, so I'm going to read a couple of them. I've got them here, Eric. I'm Christian Bladt. Remember, every mic is a hot mic. But the only question I, Christian Bladt, get asked, I see I fucked it up already. The only question I, Christian Bladt, get asked by a 4th grader is, when are you going to let me go?
Okay.
Young Wizard followed up with, I'm Christian Bladt. I want to say I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, I really liked this one. This was very creative from Kelly Riddle. I know $5 is less than €5, but I want to say that I, Christian, am a not C sympathizer. Say it with me, everyone. Seek Kyle. Seek Kyle. Seek Kyle. TWO. Tukey World